What would you do if your own child was going to prison for 10 years for a crime he barely even committed? Would you stay home and hope the system works? Or would you walk straight into the world of drug cartels and dangerous criminals, unarmed, untrained, and completely alone, just to save your son? That's exactly what one man did in this story. And what happened next will leave you breathless. Welcome to CineFlicks Recap. And today, we're breaking down Snitch, the 2013 action crime thriller that will make you question everything about justice, courage, and what a father's love can truly cost. The story begins with John Matthews, a tough, hard-working man who owns a construction company. John isn't a bad man. He's a good man who just wasn't there. He got divorced years ago, and his teenage son Jason went to live with his mother. They grew apart, as fathers and sons sometimes do. But one day, John gets a phone call that changes everything.
What?
Jason has been arrested. Now here's the part that will make your blood boil. Jason isn't a drug dealer. He's not a criminal. He's just a young man who made one terrible mistake. He accepted a package of drugs from a friend who was already caught in a police sting. That so-called friend, he traded Jason's name to the police to reduce his own sentence. And just like that, Jason is facing a mandatory minimum sentence of 10 years in federal prison. 10 years for a first-time offender, for a crime he barely even participated in. John is devastated. He feels guilty. He knows he wasn't around when Jason needed him most. And now his son might be destroyed by the very system that's supposed to protect people. But John isn't the type of man to sit still. John starts knocking on doors. He speaks to lawyers.
Both Craig and Jason are being charged under federal mandatory minimum sentencing laws. These laws were designed to ensnare high-level drug traffickers, get them to snitch on other traffickers in order to reduce their own sentence.
So Craig is implicating Jason.
He pushes and pulls through the legal system, and then he gets a meeting with U.S. Attorney Joanne Keegan. Now, Joanne is ambitious. She's running a hard anti-drug campaign because she wants to win a seat in Congress. She doesn't care much about small fish like Jason. She wants big targets.
Please, what do I gotta do?
She tells John, if you can deliver a drug dealer to us, a real one, I'll reduce your son's sentence.
I would need an airtight arrest of someone in possession of narcotics in the amount that would constitute conspiracy to distribute. If we're talking cocaine, that would be at least 500 grams or half a kilo.
There's just one catch. John will get almost no help, no protection, no backup. If things go wrong, that's his problem. He's a construction company owner, not a cop, not a spy, not a hero from an action movie. But he looks at his son behind that glass, and he says, yes. John goes back to his own world, his construction company, and starts looking for a way in. He digs through his employee records and finds one name that stands out. Daniel James. Daniel is a reformed man. He has 2 prior drug distribution convictions, meaning one more strike, and he goes away forever. He's turned his life around. He has a wife. He has a young son. He's working hard, staying clean, trying to build a better future. John approaches him. He offers him $20,000.
20 grand. I'll double it because of the risk you're taking.
Not to sell drugs, not to do anything violent, just to make one introduction, to connect John with a local dealer. Daniel says no. Obviously, he has everything to lose. But then Daniel looks at his son, at the small apartment they're living in, at the dangerous neighborhood outside, and he makes a decision that will drag both of them into something far more dangerous than either of them imagined. He says yes. Daniel introduces John to Malik, a serious, violent, high-ranking local drug dealer. Malik isn't someone you joke around with. He has 2 strikes of his own, which means he's careful. He's dangerous. And he doesn't trust strangers easily. But John comes with an offer that's hard to refuse. He explains that his construction freight trucks pass through checkpoints every day. They carry too much cargo to be properly searched. To law enforcement, they're invisible. Use my trucks, John tells Malik. You move your product, I take the risk, and we both make money.
My trucks, half a ton without attracting attention. All I'm saying is, whatever you want to move, it won't matter in my trucks.
Malik is suspicious, but he's also greedy. He agrees. But there's one condition. John and Daniel must personally drive the very first run to prove they're serious.
You gonna drive the first load. Everybody know what game Malik in. We need to see if you for real first.
John reports everything back to Agent Cooper, the federal task force leader assigned to this operation. Hidden microphones, surveillance, everything is in place. The trap is set. John drives to the pickup point near the Mexican border. This is the moment of no return. And then, chaos. A rival gang shows up and ambushes the entire operation. Gunfire, everyone scrambling. John, a regular man, not a trained fighter, has to survive. And somehow, he does. He makes a desperate, daring escape that impresses everyone watching. But here's where things get complicated. The cartel watching from the shadows? They're impressed too. John catches the attention of Juan Carlos Pintera, a cartel kingpin, the kind of man who moves millions of dollars across borders and answers to no one.
Your driver, he handled the situation very well. We will use that.
Glad to hear.
John has just accidentally stepped into a much bigger world. John completes the drug delivery. The surveillance team records everything. Agent Cooper has enough to make an arrest. But here's where the story turns painful. During the deal, Malik mentions an upcoming meeting with higher-ranking cartel members.
I got some people that want to sit down and talk. Could be some serious paper. Real serious. I'll let you know.
Cooper sees an opportunity for a much bigger arrest, and he holds back. He lets Malik walk. John is furious. He risked his life. He did everything he was asked. And now the government is telling him it wasn't enough. Joanne Keegan backs Cooper's decision.
Cooper made the call, and it was the right one. You go for the highest target, John. You just have to be patient. Take the next meeting.
She wants the bigger fish. She refuses to reduce Jason's sentence unless John goes deeper. John looks her dead in the eye and says, "This time, when the job is done, my son walks free."
I go through with this. Jason comes home that instant.
She agrees, but the danger is multiplying. Because Daniel, who had no idea John was working with the feds, finds out the truth.
Who'd you visit?
It's my son. And he made a mistake. His friend set him up. He said if we cooperate, if we help him.
We made a deal.
He's terrified. He knows what the cartel does to informants. He knows they will kill John, kill him, kill their entire families if they ever find out. Both men send their families into hiding, and the clock starts ticking. John now sits across the table from Juan Carlos Pintera himself. The cartel security is unlike anything he's encountered before. These aren't local street dealers. These are professionals. Juan Carlos makes John an offer: transport nearly $100 million in drug money back into Mexico. In return, John will be welcomed into the inner circle of the cartel.
You will make this next trip alone. Once you make the pickup, you will take it into Mexico. We will unload your construction supplies as well before you cross back over the border, so everything looks legitimate. For this, you will be paid $250,000.
Agent Cooper, when he hears this, actually pulls John aside and tells him to walk away. He's seen enough operations go wrong. He's worried the cartel will kill John the moment the job is done, but John has come too far. His son is still in prison. He agrees to do the run, and then he starts planning a way to escape everyone. John is a smart man. He didn't get this far by being reckless. He devises a plan to free himself and Daniel from both the cartel and the government at the same time. During the money run, John gives Cooper the slip, vanishing from surveillance. Meanwhile, Daniel goes after Malik. A tense, violent confrontation, guards go down. Malik is wounded, and in his final moments, Malik, perhaps out of spite, perhaps just because he has nothing left to lose, gives up Juan Carlos's personal cell phone number. John calls Cooper with two things: his own location and Juan Carlos's phone number. Cooper can track both simultaneously: the money, the kingpin, all at once. The cartel figures out John is an informant. What follows is a ferocious highway chase. Gunfire, crashing vehicles, desperate maneuvers on the open road. John fights to survive. And somehow, through sheer will and courage, he makes it out. Cooper's task force moves in. The cartel members are arrested. The $100 million is seized, and Juan Carlos Pintera, the untouchable kingpin, is captured, peacefully in the end, because his young son is with him and he refuses to endanger his child. It's a powerful moment. Even a man like Juan Carlos has a line he won't cross for his child, just like John. The next morning, Jason walks out of prison. John watches his son step into the light, and for a moment, all the fear, all the danger, all the near-death moments, it was worth it. John and his family are placed into the Witness Protection Program. New names, new lives, new city. They disappear. Daniel refuses the program. He says he'll handle his own disappearance, his own way. Before they part, John hands Daniel the entire reward check he was supposed to receive for Juan Carlos's capture. After everything Daniel risked, his life, his family, his freedom, it's the least John can do. And the film ends not with celebration, but with a hard truth. A title card appears on screen with a sobering statistic. In the United States, certain first-time nonviolent drug offenders receive longer prison sentences on average than people convicted of sexual assault or manslaughter. Let that sink in. Snitch is not just an action film. It's a film about a broken justice system, about how ordinary people get crushed by laws that were never designed to protect them, and about what one determined father was willing to risk and sacrifice for his son. Dwayne Johnson plays it completely straight here. No superhero moments, no invincibility, just a man who is scared out of his depth and absolutely refuses to give up. It's one of his most grounded and emotional performances, and honestly, one of the most underrated action thrillers of the 2000s. If you enjoyed this recap, smash that like button and subscribe to CineFlicks Recap for more movie breakdowns just like this one. Drop a comment below. What would you have done in John's position? See you in the next one.